welcome back to the FIRE series. Ooh, it's getting hot in here. Part 2 of FIRE. FIRE is Financial Independence Retire Early. So if you haven't watched last week's video, I'll leave the link down below. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any of the upcoming videos. Last week, I talked about basic principles of FIRE. What is FIRE? The principles of FIRE. This week, I'm going to get a little bit more into detail on how you can achieve FIRE. FIRE stands for Financial Independence Retire Early. And the goal of FIRE is to help you achieve complete freedom over your life. If you're wondering if this FIRE thing is for you, let me begin by asking you a few questions. And if you answer yes to any one of these questions, FIRE, my friend, is for you. Do you ever wish you had more time to do the things that you wanted to do, whether it was pursuing a hobby or traveling or spending more time with your friends and family or spending time on your own, reading a book or gardening or doing whatever you want to do? Do you ever wish you had more time? Have you ever felt stuck in a job, but you felt that you had to stay there? You couldn't move, you couldn't leave, you couldn't go out look for a new job because you really needed the steady income that it was providing you? Do you live paycheck to paycheck? Do you wish you could wake up in the morning and do whatever you wanted to do that day? Have you ever wondered if this is all there is to life, this rat race? Wake up in the morning, rush to work all day, come back exhausted, only to start it all over again the next day? Do you experience Sunday night blues, where you start to feel a little uneasy, a little anxious, waiting for Monday? Do you start looking forward to Friday on like a Monday afternoon? If you've said yes to even one of these questions, FIRE is definitely for you. Now that we've established that, where do you start? I have 3 simple ways that will help you get started on your FIRE journey today and have you well on your way within the next 7 days. Are you ready? Here we go. Number 1. This is a very important step, and it may even sound like a cliche, but don't let that get in your way. The number 1 thing you need to do, the first step, is to understand your why. What is your reason? Why do you want to become financially independent? Why do you want to start FIRE, your financial independence journey? Nietzsche, the German philosopher, said, "He who has a strong enough why can bear almost anyhow." So it's really, really important for you to know, why do you want to do this? Not only know and be clear on it, but write it down. Once you get clear on it, write it down. That becomes your reason. There's immense power in knowing why you're doing what you're doing. Let me share my why with you. Maybe it'll help you, inspire you to get started on your own. My why at the beginning of this journey was I wanted complete freedom. As a matter of fact, my top value, I have 5 top values. My number 1 value is freedom. I want to have complete freedom over my time and over my life. I want to do what I want to do when I want to do it. I want to experience the world. I want to travel. I want to experience different cultures, different foods. And I want to be able to live fully and completely before I die. I don't ever want to be in a position where I have to do something that I don't want to do. And personally, for me, it doesn't mean I don't want to do anything. I want to do things that add value for me. I want to do things that make me come alive. And I want to share the gifts that I have rather than being in a position where I have to do something because I need the money. I think each one of us has a unique gift. I'm sure you have that unique gift. Given the time and freedom, you'll be able to find what that is if you don't already know. It's basically, think about what makes you come alive. What do you get excited about? To be able to spend your time and your effort on things that you love to do. That's what we're after. Step number 2 is to do the math. How much money do you need to retire? The simplest way of figuring that out is using the FIRE formula. Basically what that is you look at your current expenses. How much do you need to live on every year? So take your annual expenses, multiply it by 25. Whatever number you get, that's your FIRE number. Once you achieve that, you have reached FIRE. You've reached financial independence. According to this 25 times rule, is if you were to withdraw 4% of that nest egg, so you've got your annual expenses times 25 invested. If you were to continue to take out 4% of that, you will never run out of money. And even within FIRE, there are different levels that you can reach for. There's something called, there are three main types of FIRE. There's one called lean FIRE, and another one called fat FIRE, and another one called a barista FIRE. So let me tell you very briefly what each one of them is. So you can pick which one you want, which one suits your lifestyle, and you can even move around. You can start with one, and if you change your mind, you can chase the other one. Lean FIRE. It's basically like being on a tight budget. What's the minimum amount of money you can live on each year? What's the minimum amount of money you'll need to live on each year if you were frugal and wise with your spending? So let's say, for example, $30,000 a year. A lot of people can live on $30,000 a year. So that's just an example. So if you decide that you can live on $30,000 a year, that could be pretty lean, but you can easily live on it. So that would be lean FIRE. The second one is fat FIRE. So you can think of it as sort of opposite of lean FIRE. So you have a little bit more fat or a lot more fat in your budget. Fat FIRE could be, if we're using $30,000 example for lean FIRE, let's say $100,000 for fat FIRE. Again, that's just an example. That's my personal number. I subscribe to Fat FIRE for personal reasons. It's because I want to be able to travel. I want to be able to spend money on hobbies and things like that. And the last one is barista FIRE. So just the way it sounds, so think of it this way. You have enough money saved and invested that will last you for the rest of your life. In addition to that, you can do a part-time job. So think of a barista type of a job. What does a part-time barista earn? So you can bring in a little bit of income each month to supplement your investment and your savings. To bring it all home, let's say you decide that lean FIRE is okay for you. That's what works for you. And if we use our example from earlier, that's $30,000 a year. So if you decide you can achieve lean FIRE and you can live on $30,000 a year. Now, $30,000 multiplied by 25 is $750,000. So if this is your scenario, once you have $750,000 saved and invested, you have reached FIRE. Now, third and final step. Now you have your why, you have your goal, you have your number. Now it's time to take some action. And where you can begin is by really reducing your expenses, cutting back on your expenses so that you can reach FIRE as quickly as possible. A place to start on cutting back on your expenses is look at the big three. I mean, there are many places you can cut back. There are many places all of us can cut back. But sometimes people get caught up in saving $2, $3 in coffee and completely miss out on the big three. So I'm a big fan of cutting the fat where most of your money goes, most of all of our money goes. Those are three big areas. That's your housing, that is your transportation, and your food. So target those three areas, get them under control, get them as lean as you can, and then you can start to look at other things like negotiating your insurance rates or negotiating your cable bill and looking at other things where you might be spending money that you probably shouldn't be. And then everything that you save from all of this cost-cutting exercise should go into your savings and investments. And of course, if you have debt, you want to pay all of that off first. You don't want to be going into your retirement. You don't want to be going into your financial independence with debt. That's the whole point. You want complete freedom over your life. You want complete freedom over your time. So if you have debts, pay all of those off first, and then start investing, putting all of your money into your investments. So there you have it. Those are three simple steps. They're simple, may not be easy, but they're simple steps that you can get started today. Still not convinced that FIRE is for you? Wait for next week's episode. I'm going to tell you all about the benefits of FIRE. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and share it with your friends. If you found it helpful, let's spread the word and share it with people. Don't forget to comment down below. I'll see you next week.